Ben, give us some bass. We're done on bass tone.
Hi everyone, my name's James Ivey.
I'm Paul Drew.
From the Studio Rats, and this is bass player extraordinaire, Mr. Ben Hearn.
How you doing?
Why do we get Ben in?
Because you and I can't play bass. We own basses.
Yeah, I own a bunch of things that I'm not very good at.
Enough said. However, that's not why he's here. We got a bass player in because, quite frankly, we didn't want to embarrass ourselves, did we?
Absolutely.
And Ben is a Metronome bass player extraordinaire. He will, no doubt, introduce himself at some point.
Well, thank you very much.
Those lovely people at Boss, a couple of years ago, brought out the Waza-Air for guitar.
And they are absolutely fantastic. They go absolutely everywhere with me.
Cool. Turns out, though, that the guitarist is not all that the good people at Boss are looking after with their Waza-Air headphones. We now have Waza-Air for the bass,
Okay.
which is interesting.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's fun, so we thought we'd get a bass player in to test them.
As I did with the last video with the guitar Waza-Airs, we've put these bass Waza-Air headphones on this binaural microphone. Now what this is basically a pair of ears, so you're going to get a representation as good as possible of how this thing sounds. Now it's not going to be exact, you're not going to get the amount of bass response that Ben's going to get when he puts these on his head, but you're going to get a rough idea of how it's going to sound. Right, Ben, give us some bass, we're done on bass tone. As you get with the guitar version of the Waza-Air headphones, you get this gyro ambience setting. Now what you can do with this, if I stick it on, let's put it on the stage setting actually. Now what we can do with this, Ben, if you give us a bit of a play, and James, if you can really lightly move that around.
It's voodoo, that, isn't it?
It's amazing, isn't it? Personally, with the Waza-Air, the guitar versions, what I normally do with that, I normally stick it in the surround position. So if you play now, you still get the ambience, you still get that great ambient,
room tone,
yeah, the room tone,
yeah.
exactly. So what you can do with this is just to move the bass position around, so you can stick the bass off just to one side. So when you're playing backing tracks through it, you can also get a little bit of separation. But that's more for the guitar sort of side of things, because what I like to do is to have, always in mixing, is just have, you know, guitars just off to the side a little bit. But probably for the bass, you probably want that in the middle.
But the thing is, it actually does sound like a bass amp.
It does sound like a
It
bass
sounds
amp.
like a really nice, vintagey, warm sounding bass amp. They're not trying to be clever and do anything super out there, super modern. It just sounds like a really nice fat bass tone. But of course, it doesn't stop there. We've got 5 different amp models.
Yep.
From the super flat to the full-on drive. I think this is a flat one, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, we're on the flat, yeah.
Yeah, which again, I think with guitar, it's slightly different. I think we'll agree. You probably need 5 or 6 different amp tones. You want to clean, something chorusy, something gritty, something nasty, something super lead.
Yeah.
Whereas with bass, I think you're probably going to want that one really big, fat, lovely bass tone.
Yeah.
Yes, it might be fun to have some chorus or some delay for practice or whatever, but most of the time...
As you just said, James, let's bring in some chorus.
And I think Ben has just suitably performed the fact that you know, these sounds do have a use in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. So not only have you got that, but something that you don't get on the guitar version. If I click up here, so I think that's a really useful feature. Also, you get like your standard sort of metronome, just your standard stuff. For me, as a guitar player, I'd actually quite like that on the guitar version.
Certainly, if you were practicing rhythm chops, you know, to get yourself nice and tight with a metronome, it's just another brilliant thing from Boss, isn't it? It's another really usable practice tool. We are losing some of the bass response because we're using the binaural microphone. Otherwise, there's no way for you to hear it out there. But it still sounds really good and really usable. Whack 'em on your head, it sounds great.
Mm. It's really clear as well. It's just really,
Clear, isn't it?
really punchy and sounds solid. Yeah, I was really impressed with the bass response for one, and the clarity as well was great. Really, really nice punchy sound coming out of those. Also, the fact that you can hear the bass amp in a position in the room, and when you turn around, it's still there, which is that's just really clever.
But that's like real life. You know, if you're in a band, generally your amp is behind you, isn't it? So if you've got your track running and you want it to feel like you're on stage, the amp's behind you.
Mm.
So I get it. They've thrown a lot of whistles and bells in.
Yeah.
Which again, Boss are really, really good at.
Yeah.
But you know, the core of the product, the bass tone, is just great.
Yes.
So forgetting all the whistles and bells, all the cleverness and all the cool stuff that you're going to go, I really like this. I really like this product for this.
Yeah.
That's great. But it's not trying to mask the fact that the bass just sounds really good.
Yeah.
So let's hear more of it. Paul Noodle, in fact, Ben Noodle, Paul Noodle.
I want to do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do some crazy stuff. Go on, off
Absolutely.
you go.
Oh yeah, no, I've got to stick with this for a while. I love the octave sound. That's great. That tracks really well actually. And it goes down to the low E as well, which is a lot more than I can say for some pedals. That's really clever.
Anything for me that makes a bass player not sound like a bass player, I'm well up for that.
I'm not sure how to take that.
But if you go back to normality just for a moment, it just sounds great as a
Top stuff.
I just want him to play all day, quite frankly, because it just sounds really, really good.
It's far better than listening to guitar, isn't it? Far better than listening to me play guitar.
No comment.
Too kind.
We've kind of got your vibe on it, already, but I think it sounds so good.
It's
and
really cool.
Well, as soon as you put the headphones on, it does transform it different.
Yeah.
It is a different sound. But I think we've probably got as good as we can across using the binaurals and stuff. It sounds really good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome.
So, massive thank you to Ben.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Ben, where can people find you if you want to be found?
Yep. benhearnbass.co.uk.
There, we've done the cheesy plug. Hopefully you got something out of that. If you did, like, subscribe, hit that bell. But for now, my name's James Ivey.
I'm Paul Drew.
From the Studio Rats, and we will see you again very soon.